both of them have to be resourceful to manage. There's money to be had. They say Jesus, the guy from Nazareth, is passing by, and Bartimaeus, who's blind, Jesus, son of David, have mercy on me. How does he know that? Jesus, son of David, someone who can show mercy. I guess there are three options. Number one, Holy Spirit told him. That's spiritualizing the text a lot. But maybe. Number two, Jesus has been through here before. You know, every single time in the Gospels we have a story about Jesus going to Jerusalem, it's through Jericho. It's through Jericho. The direction of the wilderness, the direction of Joshua's entry, the direction from which Elijah and Elisha came. There's something prophetic there. Maybe he's heard about Jesus before. And number three, even though he's blind, remember we talked yesterday about someone who is blind knows people because of you develop the other senses. These guys know. You know, the hard lesson is this. You've got him in Houston, we have him in Chicago. The guys on the street corner, right? You know, they're not stupid. I mean, some of them, there are 1,000 reasons why you end up on the street, right? But usually rank ignorance is not one of them, right? These guys know. And Bartimaeus does too. And people, this is Jesus on the way to the cross. We should be doing this next week. Jesus on the way to the cross. And he keeps shouting, and Jesus stops, and look at verse 41. Jesus' first words to him are a question. What do you want me to do? He doesn't assume. Partly that's a rabbinic way of teaching. Rabbinic education is not a rabbi pontificating, it's a rabbi asking questions. And that's, we have people who teach that way in our graduate school on Mount Zion, and I have student evaluations saying there was no syllabus and no order to the class. And my answer is, duh, that's the way it's supposed to be in a rabbinic discussion. You just kind of do this. All right, so welcome to the land. Yeah. He asked a question. If any of you end up in churches that have altar calls on a regular basis, I know that's more Baptistic than Methodist, but if you do, when someone comes up, the pastor does not say, it's about time you came, I'll tell you what's wrong with you. The pastor says, what can we do for you? Why did you come? Jesus says the same thing. I want to regain my sight. Jesus says, let me help you see. You want to receive your sight? You can see. Now see. You know, there's a lot of things that Jesus does to heal people in the Gospels. But there seems to be a disproportionately large number of people who are blind, who are lame, who have blood flows, deformed in some ways. And all of these are things that in the Old Testament either disqualify you from entering the temple, or things that become images of not being able to see or listen or hear or follow God. Isaiah uses them as images. And Jesus picks these in particular ailments and says, you want to see? Now let me help you see. Yeah? Let me help you see. Then he enters town. Zacchaeus, he was also Jewish. You see, Herod's main job description is to collect the taxes, send it to Rome. Ain't no way Herod's going to be in the tax booth. And so he contracts out to lower people, and organizations or groups are families. And they tend to be among the local people. Matthew is one. We'll meet him in Capernaum this week. Sunday. We'll meet Matthew on Sunday in Capernaum. Jewish as well. Zacchaeus as well. These are the collaborators. These are the ones that have sold their soul to Rome. And they can make an awful lot of money in the process. Remember the Merry Christmas gift? All the time in the pocket. Yeah? They have the power to take, also to remit if they want to. But usually it's let me get richer as well. This is the way the world is going. And the local people despise them like crazy. Zacchaeus, trying to see Jesus, also climbs a sycamore tree Sycamore trees grow in the lower elevations. There's a historic one out about 2 miles where the memory is. Somewhere there was one around here, I don't know. Easy to climb, these trees are. Jesus looks up. This time he doesn't ask a question. He says, I'm going to come and visit you today. And then we have a story about Jesus eating with the sinners, which are a special category in the Gospels for people who don't quite fit what it means, quote unquote, to be religious like the way up in Jerusalem people want them to be. And Jesus has a meal with them. And after the end of the meal, look what Zacchaeus says. Half my possessions I'll give to the poor. If I've defrauded anyone, I'll give back 4 times as much. Now what he's just done there is admitted what he's done without admitting what he's done. Because you want to save honor in this land no matter what. And even if everybody knows you're guilty, everybody says, well, and then you're punished. But you don't shame them in front of their face and in front of their colleagues. So Zacchaeus is by saying if. You know, we had before our current campus manager, Ed, the guy who brings the food to the bus, we had a local guy who was always wanting to run off and do things. And he would say to me, without asking, he would say, I'm taking my family and we're going to be gone 2 or 3 days when I need him on campus. And if I don't come back until Friday, well, he just told me he's not coming back till Friday. But he can't say that to my face. So he says if. So we can see what Zacchaeus does here based on his confession and how he's going to give back. Now, Jesus says, salvation has come to you as well. Right? You're now allying yourself with the identity that you should have with God's people. Now from here, Jesus goes up this road that we were just on. He overnights in Bethany. He has a Shabbat meal with Simon the leper. Lazarus is there, 6 weeks out of the tomb. On a Friday and on a Sunday is Palm Sunday. And when Jesus goes over the mountain on Palm Sunday, there's people like crazy there who know him. And I would bet you anything. This is speculation. We did that yesterday. That 2 of the people who go with him and watch are Bartimaeus and Zacchaeus. Zacchaeus can say, okay, you know, somebody else can sit in the booth. Bartimaeus, what else does he have to do, right? I can now see. They see and they follow. I'll bet you anything. They become part of this great cloud of witnesses that is climbing the mountain with Jesus for Passover. They don't get yet what's going to happen. Yeah. Jericho has a lot to offer. Yeah. A lot going on here. A lot of possibility going on. And as we're going to see yet today, a lot of life in this place that can be redeemed. Yeah. Okay. Questions or comments before we head to the Old Testament?
Well,
yes, please.
You know, it always comes down to what's it have to do with us?